In this lesson, we're going to introduce proof by deduction and go through a few examples that'll set you well on your way to answering those tough exam questions on proof. And there appears the title as if by magic. So, as you can see, the first thing we're going to look at is representing odd and even integers algebraically. So an even integer is an integer that is a multiple of 2. So the set of even numbers, we'll go to some set notation here, is the set of all numbers represented by 2n, where n is an integer written in set notation. So the set of even numbers is the set of all numbers that are written 2 times n, where n is an integer in that set z. Now what I've just given you is a very formal way of writing it. Basically, in a question, you'd be well within your rights when it asks you to represent an even number algebraically just to write 2n. But you do need to know this terminology and notation also. So odd numbers now. Are ones that can be represented by 1 more than an even, which makes it odd, or 1 less than an even. So any number that can be written as 2n plus 1, such that n is an integer, because we know that if it's 1 more than an even, that it must be odd, or 2n minus 1, where n is an integer. And again, in an exam, if it asks you to represent an odd number algebraically, it will be enough to just write 2n plus 1, where n is an integer. You don't need to use this formal notation unless specifically asked, but it's important to know it. Now there are other odd numbers, like 2n plus 3, 2n plus 5, 2n plus 7, 2n minus 3, 2n minus 5, 2n minus 7. But when asked to represent an odd number, we should always go for 2n plus 1 or 2n minus 1 as a starting point. Doesn't matter which. And the reason really is just to make our lives easier. Why use 2n plus 139 as an odd number when you can just use 2n plus 1 or 2n minus 1? But enough of the formalities anyway, let's get straight into a question. So this question says, prove that the sum of the squares of any 2 odd positive integers is always even. 2 odd positive integers. So, and I want you to have a go at this, pause the video and write down 2 odd positive integers. Now the most common mistake you could make is writing 2 odd integers like this. Because these are indeed 2 odd positive integers, but they're related to each other. This is the next odd integer on from that one. If we add 2 to an odd integer, we get the next odd integer. These numbers shouldn't be related because the question hasn't told us to make them related. It hasn't told us to use 2 consecutive odd integers. So we need to use different letters. 2n plus 1 and 2m plus 1 are the 2 different, unrelated odd integers we're going to use. So now it's saying prove that the sum of their squares is always even. Find the sum of their squares, pause the video, and have a go yourself. So squaring and summing these integers, like that, we're multiplying the brackets out, and you can use a grid method or do it in your head. We get 4n squared plus 2n plus 2n again plus 1 plus 4m squared plus 2m plus 2m and again plus 1, which is equal to 4n squared plus 4n plus 1 plus 4m squared plus 4m plus 1. And that can be further simplified. Let's get the 4n squared, 4n, then the 4m squared, plus 4m, plus 2. And what we're asked to do is prove that it's always even. Now remember, even means multiple of 2. So how are you going to prove that this is even? Have a think. Pause the video, see if you can do that, and see if your method matches mine. So in my opinion, the best way to do it, to prove that something is even, i.e. a multiple of 2, is to take out a factor of 2. That's the most effective, easiest way. So we take out a factor of 2, we get 2n squared plus 2n plus 2m squared plus 2m plus 1, and we've shown it's even because it's a multiple of 2. So let's conclude. Every proof needs a conclusion. Which is a multiple of 2, therefore even. And that's that example done. So remember, to prove something's even, take out a factor of 2. And I should point out at this point how important the conclusion actually is. It's very, very important. A proof without a conclusion isn't a proof. So make sure a conclusion in the context of what the question asked is given. So let's move on to another example. And as if by magic, there it is. Awesome cinematography skills. So this question now says, prove that the sum of the squares of any two consecutive integers is always odd. And the key point here, in the previous example, I told you that the numbers were unrelated, so we had to use 2 different letters. Here the numbers are related, the integers are related, they're consecutive integers. So the first integer is going to be one algebraic expression. The next integer is going to be another. Pause, see if you can write them down. So the first integer is going to be n, and the next integer along is n plus 1. Now you'll be well within your rights to use n minus 1 as well, but I chose n plus 1. And it said the sum of the squares of any consecutive integers. So we've got equals n squared plus, then we've got n squared plus 2n plus 1, which we know is equal to 2n squared plus 2n plus 1. And it's our job now to argue that this is an odd number. See if you can do that. Pause. I'll explain in a second. So, to show that it's odd, let's first of all try and show that it's even and see where it falls apart. So take out a factor of 2 of all the terms we possibly can. So trying to show that it's even, we get n squared plus n, and we've ran out of things with a factor of 2 now, with a 1 on the outside. So we can tell that that's an odd number because it's 2 times an integer, which makes it even, then add 1, which makes it odd. And the way we should in an exam write this out is, which is of the form 2k plus 1, therefore odd. Now if you really wanted to be rigorous, we could add to this, where k is an integer, but typically they don't need that level of detail in the exam. But you can if you want to be completely rigorous. It helps to say where k is an integer, like that. And we're proving it's odd. We're done on that one. So let's try another, slightly more difficult example. Now we've got the question asking us, n is an integer not divisible by 3. Prove that n squared is of the form 3p plus 1, where p is an integer. Now, in this example, and this is illustrative of a lot of proof questions, there's a lot of cases to consider, because there's a few different forms that integers not divisible by 3 can be written in. So let's write some positive integers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. So all the multiples of 3 are here. And we can see there's 2 types of number that aren't divisible by 3. There's ones that are 1 more than a multiple of 3, or 2 more than a multiple of 3, 1 more than a multiple of 3, 2 more than a multiple of 3. So have a think of the 2 different cases that you could write down for numbers not divisible by 3. Alternatively, you could think of it as 1 less than a multiple of 3 and 1 more than a multiple of 3 as well. So let's write those cases down. So I'll delete this now. Just for illustrative purposes, that was. Pause and write them down. So the first expression that I'm going to let represent capital N. Let capital N equal 1 more than a multiple of 3. I just want to be completely clear, be very formal, that N here is an integer. So that's our first non-multiple of 3. And we're asked to square N. So that means that N squared equals 3n plus 1 squared. And pause the video now and you take this further, see if you can finish it off. So I got 9n squared plus 6n plus 1. And we're being asked to show that it's of the form 3p plus 1, where p is an integer. So let's take out the factor of 3 that it's asking us to take out. So 3, and that gives us 3n squared plus 2n, and we've ran out of things that we can take a factor of 3 out in. So we've got the 1 on the outside equals 3p plus 1, where p is 3n squared plus 2n, and we proved it for 3n plus 1. But we aren't finished yet, because remember, in my introduction to this question I said that there were 2 types of non-multiples of 3. There's 1 more than a multiple of 3, or 2 more than a multiple of 3. Alternatively, if you wanted to, you could do 1 more than a multiple of 3 and 1 less than a multiple of 3. But I'm going to stick to 1 more than a multiple of 3 and 2 more than a multiple of 3 for this example. So now we're going to let n equal 3n plus 2. Again, where n is an integer, being completely formal about it, probably a bit too much detail, but let's be rigorous. Which means that n squared equals 3n plus 2 squared, writing all the working out, proofs need full working, equals 9n squared plus 6n plus 6n, which is 12n, plus 4. And just like we did before, try and take out a factor of 3. Now pause, you have a go at this, see what happens. So taking out a factor of 3 as before, and there's going to be a slight difference here. So we've got 3n squared is the first term, plus 4n. And this last term clearly isn't a multiple of 3, so we can't take 3 out as a factor. We can't fully factorise it. But we can take some 3's out of the number 4. We can take a whole 3 out of the number 4, with 1 left over, adding 1 outside the bracket as a remainder. And there we've done it again, equals 3p plus 1, where p in this case is 3n squared plus 4n plus 1. If we'd have left the plus 4 outside the bracket, we wouldn't have shown what the question asked us to show, which was that it's of the form 3p plus 1. So we've shown it for both cases, both types of non-multiple of 3, therefore conclude. Therefore, if n is an integer not divisible by 3, then n squared is of the form 3p plus 1, where we're told that p is an integer. And we're done on that example. And here's a final example. Prove that 3x squared plus 6x plus 11 is bigger than 0 for all real x. So in this one, we're going to have to think outside the box a bit. What can we do to prove that a quadratic is bigger than a certain value? Think of all the techniques that you've learned at GCSE. What I'm going to use here is completing the square. Something which we're yet to cover on the syllabus, the A-level syllabus, but it is assumed knowledge from GCSE. So hopefully completing the square will be the key to doing this. Have a go at completing the square, pause the video, see what you can do. Right, so to complete the square for a more complicated expression like this, we'll take out a factor of 3 from the first two terms. So we get x squared plus 2x with 11 on the outside. And I'm not going to write bigger than 0 yet because that's what we're trying to prove. Right, so complete the square for that. We get 3 x plus 1 squared minus 1. And actually, probably paper saving, so to speak, putting it up there, equals 3 x plus 1 squared minus 1 with a plus 11 on the end. And multiplying out those straight brackets, I get 3 x plus 1 squared minus 3 plus 11 equals 3 x plus 1 squared plus 8. And we can see now that this quadratic, now that we've written in complete square form, has minimum value 8, which has minimum value 8. Therefore, if it has minimum value of 8, 3x squared plus 6x plus 11 is bigger than 0. Done. Proved. So that there is proof by deduction, with a bit of an extension example at the end here. So now go to the worksheet and practice these skills.